Hi, I'm Jeremy Jordan. This is my Team Trilogy in the bag video. I'd like to start with my putters. I carry 3 putters. More of my throwing putter would be this just classic blend soft Judge. It feels really good in the hand, and you can throw it out nice and long, and it really holds that line. My 2 putting putters, I really like to throw the super soft. I like the tackiness in the hand. I like the way it cuts through the air and it just sticks in the bag. If it hits the ground, it doesn't roll or anything real much. It's real grippy. I have 2 of them. They're my favorite putters. My mid-ranges. I carry 5 mid-ranges. My most stable is I like this Fluid Moonshine Truth. It's probably my most thrown mid-range. I like to throw it for nice shots with a slight fade at the end. Finishes off to the right a little bit. It just feels really good in the hand. I really like the fluid plastic. I have a Lucid X regular truth that I don't throw this one as much. If there's a little bit more wind, I like to throw it instead of my Moonshine one. It has a little bit more stability towards the end. I like to carry a regular EMAC Truth in the Lucid plastic. It's a nice straight disc for me. It gets out there real far and just a smooth finish. For a little bit more stability, maybe a little bit, I like to throw a Lucid X Suspect. It's a really good flying disc for me. It really holds whatever line I put it on. I can hyzer it, I can hyzer it. It'll really hold that line for me. It's a really good disc. And my most overstable is I like this Lucid Verdict. It has a lot more stability for me and nice finish. It's really predictable. It's really consistent for me out of my hand. I like to flick this sometimes. It just feels really good in the hand. I like the grip to it. My fairway drivers. I like the Maverick in a Lucid plastic. It really holds a nice straight line for me. I'm really just starting to work with the Maverick. It has a real good feel in its hand. But I'm also just starting to work with the Explorers. I carry 2. I carry an Opto and then a Tournament Burst. The Opto to me has a little bit more stability towards the end. But I really like the pop top of the Tournament Burst. And it has a really good feel to it. But my most stable fairway is a Convict. I carry a Lucid. Nice Mai-Dai. I really like how this is stable, and I can even get this to flex out for me. A nice consistent flight on this Convict. I really like the Convict. My distance drivers, I carry kind of 2 more understable distance drivers. The Renegade, I carry in a Fusion. It's a really consistent disc for me. I like how it has a small fade at the end, or turn at the end, and it just really consistent disc. But my most consistent understable disc is a Westside Moonshine Destiny. This is probably my favorite disc to throw. I like the understableness to it. It really holds that turn, and I can place this disc right where I want it to go. It's really consistent for me. I carry 3 trespasses. I carry a fusion trespass. It's a little bit more flippy. It's kind of pop-toppy. Trespass is one of my favorite discs. I like how they fly. They're really consistent. My most used trespass is probably the Lucid My Die. It's just a great disc. It's probably my favorite disc. I like how they come out. They hold whatever line I want. It's a little bit more windy. I go with the Lucid X Trespass. It's a little bit more stable, real poppy. I really like how this disc flies. I carry 3 Sheriffs. I carry a Lucid Air Sheriff for when it's not as windy. I really like how the Sheriff flies. They're a little bit more stable at the end than the Trespasses are. For when it's a little bit more windy, I throw a max weight Lucid Trespass. They're just really good flying discs. I also have a Fusion Sheriff that's just a little bit less stable for when I don't want it to have as much fade at the end. Really good disc. For less on the not as windy days, I like the airflow. When it's just a slight wind, I can throw this into a headwind, and if it's not a real heavy headwind, this will hold the line and kind of fight against it, and it has a real stable finish towards the end. It's a really good flying disc for me. I have a Opto recoil. I'm just working with this disc. I really like how it flies. It's nice and straight for me, and honestly, it's a really straight flying disc for me, and I like to throw this over water. I just seem to have really good luck with this disc when I'm not so sure about how I'm going to make this shot or where I'm going to go. It always seems to have a real nice, consistent, straight flight for me. I carry an Opto Havoc. It's a little bit more stable. I'm really just starting to learn to work with this disc. It's fairly new to my bag, but it's a really good disc. This one's kind of poppy, domey. I really like this disc so far. On those really windy days, I like to carry a Biofusion Defender. This one's really beat in, but it's plenty stable for my arm speed. This really fights through the wind and has a nice long straight shot for me and a stable finish at the end. Sometimes I do carry one other disc in here. It's my Fluid Enforcer. This is just a meat hook. I really don't have the arm for this disc yet, but I have found that I carry this in there because there are some times where I know that I need to come up and get around an obstacle, and I've started just working with this disc, and it's really consistent on, I can't throw it as far, but it has a real big meat hook at the end, and it's really pulled me out of a jam a couple of times. I have my marker, I have a pencil, and I have my retriever and my dirt bag. That's my in the bag video. Thank you.